Hello and welcome to Tangled Affairs. I'm 37 years old, and my wife, who is 34, and I got married last July. Before tying the knot, we had extensive discussions about what we didn't want our marriage to take away from us. For me, it was the preservation of joy, while for her, it was the freedom to have fun. About 3 months into our marriage, she joined a group called SSH, claiming it was a community of married people aiming to be happy while maintaining a fun lifestyle. Blinded by love, I believed everything she told me, even though traces of her infidelity were scattered around. She never posted our wedding pictures, and there wasn't a single photo of me on any of her social media accounts. It felt like our marriage was a secret. She never brought anyone home except her family members. I questioned her about it once, and she assured me she would address it in due time. Fast forward to the last day of 2022. After spending the morning cleaning up, she couldn't find her phone. When I rang her phone, I noticed my number was still saved with my first name. When I brought it up, she accused me of being petty and insecure. Last Tuesday, she left home to hang out with the SSH group and didn't return that night. Worried sick and unable to reach her, I called her father, but he had no idea where she was either. Early the next morning, she called, and a man apologized. My heart sank as he identified himself as her boyfriend and asked for her home address. Trying to wrap my head around the situation, I invited him for coffee, pretending to be her brother. During our conversation, he revealed that the SSH group was, in fact, a singles group where they had fun. He met my wife there, and they decided to make it a serious relationship. However, my wife refused to introduce him to her family and friends. Thinking I was her brother, he shared all this information. I offered to let him speak with her father and call them. On speakerphone, he learned that his daughter was married to me, and the poor man looked broken when the call ended. His reaction mirrored my own feelings, and watching the pain on both their faces was excruciating. I couldn't take it anymore, so I went upstairs and packed as many of my clothes as I could. I knew in that moment that I wouldn't be returning to that house or to my wife. I was done, and nothing could change that. 3 days after leaving the house, I got a call to go to the police station. It turned out my wife had been temporarily detained and was awaiting a hearing. Surprisingly, her boyfriend was also in custody. He had gone to her house to confront her about cheating on him, and things escalated quickly. They trashed the house and caused such a commotion that the neighbors called the police. Confronting my wife about my findings was just as painful. She looked distraught as she explained that she had received her father's message, calling her useless and warning her to stay away. She tried to convince me that she had no real relationship with her boyfriend, claiming she didn't even know who he was. Her focus was on getting me to help her convince her father of her innocence. There was no apology to me, it was all about herself. I told her it was not my concern and that she should expect divorce papers from my lawyer. Now, I feel utterly broken. Most days, I don't even have the energy to get out of bed. It's difficult to comprehend how my life has taken such a painful turn. Now for the second story. I'm 26 years old, and back in May of this year, I found out from roommates that my 24-year-old girlfriend of 3 years was talking to a guy she had a history with. It involved sexting, declarations of love, and other concerning behavior. We managed to move past it, and he was no longer part of the equation. We worked towards rebuilding trust and striving for happiness together. Fast forward to a few days ago, I received an anonymous message via Instagram from someone claiming to have found direct messages, DMs, on her boyfriend's Instagram from my girlfriend. According to the anonymous source, they were sexting, and explicit photos and videos were exchanged, though they were of the disappearing kind, like on Snapchat. The anonymous messenger suggested I ask my girlfriend about a person named Alex, names changed for privacy. They mentioned that they couldn't provide screenshots but advised me to inquire about Alex. The next morning, I confronted my girlfriend about Alex in the anonymous message. She denied any knowledge of what I was talking about, insisting that the only interaction with him was him saying things here and there. She dismissed him as ugly AF, and a sleazeball, who had cheated on his girlfriend, Courtney, before. She claimed not to want anything to do with him and questioned who I had been talking to which I responded that I didn't know since they hadn't given me their name. While I was at work, my girlfriend initiated a group text with Courtney, who expressed confusion about the situation, denying any knowledge of what was going on. Courtney stated that she and Alex were fine. I then updated the anonymous messenger, telling them about my girlfriend's attempt to shift blame, saying it wasn't her who messaged Alex. In response, the anonymous messenger shared a plethora of screenshots showcasing the explicit messages between my girlfriend and Alex. They revealed that they had these screenshots before confronting my girlfriend so they could catch Alex in the act, and later decided to let me know the truth as well. It's a complicated and painful situation, and I'm left grappling with the aftermath of this revelation. This whole situation is a complete mess. Anon, who messaged me anonymously, believed that sharing the explicit messages between my girlfriend and Alex would irrefutably prove the truth. Anon mentioned not realizing that Alex was still dating Courtney and that this wasn't the first time he had cheated on her. When I confronted my girlfriend that night, quoting the messages, she vehemently denied ever saying those things and demanded to see the pictures. After a bit of back and forth, I finally showed her the screenshots Anon provided. However, she continued to deny everything, insisting she never sent those messages. She claimed to have been talking to Courtney and Alex all day trying to figure things out. I also decided to involve her mother, who sees these people regularly where she works, thinking she might know something we don't. Throughout our conversations, my girlfriend kept questioning why someone would go out of their way to make it seem like she was texting Alex to mess up his relationship with Courtney. It all felt strange and confusing. We spent the night together since she wouldn't let me leave the bedroom, but the next morning was more of the same. I decided to spend Thanksgiving apart, going to my parents' place while suggesting she go to her mother's. We spent the whole day apart, and I didn't message her once. During that time, I sent the screenshots to Courtney, urging her to confront Alex about his actions. Courtney, however, didn't believe that my girlfriend was involved and insisted that someone must have hacked her accounts. Anon later admitted to hacking my girlfriend's Instagram to get those pictures and mentioned that someone had also accessed her iCloud. A few days before all this unfolded, someone texted me while I was at work, asking if I had signed into her stuff. I hadn't, so she changed her password. At this point, I asked Anon if she could reveal her identity, but she preferred to remain anonymous, citing concerns about my girlfriend's mother potentially causing trouble. Anon did admit to hacking my girlfriend's Instagram to obtain the pictures that exposed the explicit messages. It's a tangled web, and I'm left grappling with the uncertainty of who to believe and what to do next. I woke up the next morning and decided to break up with her. Living together made it all the more difficult, knowing that the next several days or weeks would be filled with awkwardness and discomfort until she left. Throughout the conversation, she remained adamant that it wasn't her, someone was faking everything, and she feared her accounts were compromised. I could understand the fear of having to change passwords for everything, not knowing what might have been tampered with. However, I expressed that I couldn't risk putting myself through this ordeal a third time, even if this time turned out to be untrue. I explained that my heart had already been broken twice, and I couldn't envision coming back from this emotionally. With so much uncertainty and no way of knowing if she actually did it or was being set up, I told her I didn't want to be part of it anymore. I decided to block Alex, Courtney, and the anonymous person, aiming to distance myself from the entire situation. Her final plea was, "Will you be my man, my boyfriend, my best friend, the one to help me get through all of this and figure out what is going on?" 90% of me believed she was lying. I leaned towards the idea that she was hacked, particularly since Anon admitted to hacking her Instagram. However, when it came to the messages sent to Alex, there were timestamps that aligned with moments I was around for, making it implausible for someone else to have sent them. I told her that I wanted to believe her, but the story seemed too ridiculous to be true. In the messages, Alex's Instagram name and picture were at the top, and he commented on my girlfriend's story pictures, including one of me. It was evident he was engaging in flirtatious conversations. Despite my conviction, 10% of me harbored a nagging worry that I might have made a massive mistake, and she could, by some slim chance, be telling the truth. I questioned the validity of her story and sought advice from others who might have experienced similar situations. In an unexpected turn, the update revealed that the anonymous person was my roommate. She witnessed my girlfriend messaging the guy on the night of the Halloween party and went into FBI mode, finding my girlfriend's old iPhone and discovering the messages on her still logged in Instagram. The revelation added another layer to the already complex situation. Wow, the plot thickens. It turns out my roommate, the anonymous person, discovered more than one guy my girlfriend was talking to. She opted to stay anonymous initially because she found out about the messages the first time my girlfriend cheated, and she didn't want to drag us all into the drama again. I respect her decision, understanding the complexity and emotional toll it could take on everyone involved, including her and her boyfriend. My roommate aimed for a neutral stance, hoping it would encourage my girlfriend to be honest, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. My girlfriend lied straight to her face, denying the truth even when confronted by the first person who covered all of this. So, the relationship is now officially over, and the next challenge is navigating the aftermath of getting her out of the house. It's undoubtedly a difficult situation, but at least there's now clarity about the path forward.